it's a way of life, and like you said, coming
Exactly.
as we come from, that's just a part. That's a major part of our life. That's something that first cold front, you're ready to grab I know when I was little, I was grabbing a Red Rider, and I'm out up front, looking for something to shoot. So and he finally started to get his rhythm down, and now he's full-fledged trapping. And I mean, it's a process. It's an all-day event.
It's too much.
Tejas.
Still too.
Tejas Hunt Club Podcast is the podcast for you and you and you and you. So I'll do a little intro here and then get you to talk about yourself and start out, and then we'll get into it. All right.
All right. Sounds good.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tejas Hunt Club Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon McDowell, and this week I'm sitting down with Blake Moulton of Waterfowl-A-Salt Co. This dude creates some awesome content. I've been following him for a long time, and I wanted to get him on. He loves dove hunting. He also loves duck hunting, for all you duck hunting listeners that we have on the podcast. So we're going to talk about that today and just creating content. That's something that we both share in common, a love for the outdoors and creating content to share it with other people. So, Blake, give us an intro, man. Tell us all about yourself, how you got started in the outdoors, and we'll go from there.
Man, thank you so much. My name is Blake Moulton. I'm from a small town called Anahuac, Texas. If you blink, you'll miss us. We're between Houston and Beaumont. The outdoors has been just one of those things that's always been there for me. It's my comfort spot out there. So it's something that got, my dad pretty much introduced it to me and my brother at a very, very young age. My dad was carrying me and my brother to the blind at 3 years old, deer hunting first. And then, as we got a little bit older, we kind of worked our way up to the duck hunting and stuff. But not too much, not a real sophisticated person, man. I, just from Anahuac and love to hunt.
I hear you, man. Down there in Anahuac, man, y'all got some pretty good duck hunting down there. Like I've heard of other people. There's a couple pages I follow that are down there, and then I've just seen like posts when people share their location. it generally, and their duck hunting, it generally tends to be in that area or a little bit west of Houston.
Exactly.
But like I've like we talked about, I haven't done much duck hunting myself. Like where I grew up in Goliad, it just wasn't a thing. Like you can go to the coast and stuff. There's a couple people we knew that go down to Rockport and duck hunt, or like Portacon or something like that. But like not really like a big duck hunting area, I guess. You had to, like I said, you had to go a little bit farther east to see where those ducks are. But that's pretty cool, man. Growing up, you got to hunt with your dad and your brother a lot, and you see that in your content too. Like I know a big thing for you is hunting with your family and stuff, and like I envy that because I'm like the only person that hunts in my family. Like I didn't really grow up with like a hunting family. Like it's something I got into just from hanging out with my friends and stuff and growing up in the area that I grew up in. Like my mom doesn't hunt. No, she loves eating it. She loves cooking it, all that kind of stuff. But she didn't hunt. My dad didn't hunt either. But like I just said, I just had opportunities with the friends that I had, growing up. Their families did, and they invited me along. So I always tell like people that grow up in a hunting family how awesome like that sounds. Just being able to like talk to your dad, talk to your mom about stuff, and just have that whole family aspect. That's really, really cool.
Exactly. Yeah, man. It was a blessing. I'm actually on record, third generation. My grandpa, he was a guy back in the 60s and stuff like that. And even before that, there's some kind of traces that people even further back hunted as well. Kind of interesting story. If you on my Instagram, I posted a picture of my great grandfather, and so he was.
Oh yeah.
He was one of the first like ranch hands, like lead ranch hands down here in Texas, and on record so far. So they're just doing some digging on that, but there's pictures of him hunting as well. So that'll kind of trace that lineage back a little bit further.
Yeah. I hear you, man. And like my family, like my grandpa had cows and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and rode horses, and he was a contractor. That was his trade. He built houses, but he liked the cowboy and all that kind of stuff. So my family had horses and cattle. He horses and cattle. But once he passed away, like my aunts and my uncles and stuff, my mom weren't really into it. And of course, I was too young to be like, I'm taking over the family place, you know.
Yeah.
But uh, it's I feel like, especially like I mean, like for us, for black people in general, like it's not far removed from being tied to agriculture and tied to like living off the land. And I think like we're a couple generations removed. Like thankfully we were born in the place we were born to be able to like witness that stuff. But for the most part, you don't really see that many black people, hunting and fishing now. It's always like, something they say like, oh, that's what white people do or something like that. But it's deeply tied into our heritage and like where we come from. I don't know if you've heard it, but Clay Newcomb, he has the Bear Grease podcast, but he did a podcast. He does like different stuff about different people, and he did a podcast on Holt Collier, who was born a slave in Mississippi, and he was actually the head guide that took Teddy Roosevelt on the bear hunt in Mississippi. So like where Teddy Bear gets its name and stuff, like he was the head guide, like that Teddy Roosevelt wanted to go hunt black bears with in Mississippi. Dude, if you haven't listened to it, I'll send it to you after the
Man,
podcast.
yes.
But it's just like pretty cool, like hearing those stories about that kind of stuff. Just not to like say that. Like there aren't black people that hunt. Like there's 24/7 hunt crew. Those dudes in
Exactly.
Georgia, like
Yeah.
they hunt all the time, man. And it's cool seeing that just from a different aspect. Cause like I said, my family, I was the only one.
Exactly.
I was the only one watching, the hunting channel and stuff. So, but yeah, it's real cool seeing that.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that I tell everybody. It's not a race thing. It's a way of life. And like you said, coming
Exactly.
from the areas we come from, that's just a part. That's a major part of our life. That's something that first cold front, you're ready to grab I know when I was little, I was grabbing a Red Rider, and I'm out up front, looking for something to shoot. So
Yeah,
it's just a way of life for us.
exactly.
So and that's what I
Yep.
promote. Like, it's not about race, it's not about anything like that. It's a way of life, and it's a way of getting away. And that's pretty much it's a peace. It's a area of peace, and just calmness for me. So I try to promote that with everyone else as well.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. And like, it's like you said, that peace, it's where you can go and just chill and relax and get
Exactly.
away from like, everyday stuff and all the problems you have. I mean, it's something like watching the sunrise and going out hunting and hearing the birds wake up and all that. Like, dude, there's if you haven't done it, which I know a lot of our
Mhm.
listeners have, and you can tell they know what we're talking about when you can hear that and see that and all that kind of stuff. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
man, I get it for sure. So you said you started out deer hunting and stuff, and
Mhm.
then you got into the duck hunting, and I mean that's the majority of your content that you put out and everything. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that that's your favorite thing to do.
Yeah, I would have to say so. And not to take a jab at deer hunters whatsoever. That's still a respectable outdoor. I love deer hunting too as well, but duck hunting has that special place in my heart. It's one of those things. I'm not a patient person, and my girlfriend, she tells me that all the time. I'm not a patient person, and so with duck hunting, it's just a little bit different. With deer, it teaches you patience. If you don't want to be patient, you have to be patient. And duck hunting is just a little bit different. And just over the years trying to perfect my shot, deer hunting you might miss. Okay, hey, you probably done for the day on that buck. But duck hunting, you miss, you're gonna have some more come in, and you keep going. So that's really a big factor of I'm just not a patient person.
Man, definitely. But I guess you trade patience for drive because I like deer hunting.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't duck hunt that much. I just didn't have the opportunities. But I tell you, duck hunters. I mean, to some of the stuff y'all do to kill some birds, like I'm just saying it rivals what some deer hunters will do, to kill some big deer.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like waking up at 1:30 in the morning to go set out hundreds of decoys sometimes, or trying to find ducks or just trying to find a place to hunt. Like, especially like I said, down here in Texas, the farther west you go, it gets skinny. But like out over there, East Texas and stuff, y'all have a good little flyway
Oh
over
yeah.
there. But still getting permission, having those good areas, fighting other people on not physically fighting, but like fighting to find spots and stuff on public land that you have down there. Like it's a real
It
grind.
is.
It's hard to do, and you do all that work, and I mean it's the same thing in deer hunting too. But you do all that work just to go sit, and then there's still a chance that you might not kill a duck. They might not be there that day. Like you just did all of that work, and then it's just like, well, guys, we'll try again tomorrow.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that, hunting has taught me is to, appreciate everything, like you said, those days that you skunk out, it essentially what it taught me is that, take in the moment, take in what's all around you, the sunrise, seeing the birds working off in the distance, just take it all in and just out there actually being, spending time with people you love, friends and everything like that, and just taking it in.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot easier to do that on those lucky days when you get to hunt during the week, because it's real easy. If it's not that good, you could be like, well, I could be at work today.
Exactly. I tell people,
it gives you a little,
I tell them
it gives you a little excuse.
I'm working on conservation. That's why I didn't shoot any today.
There you go. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's funny, man. Well, dude, uh, so what kind of like what's your favorite duck to hunt? Like, what are your kind of usually your setups? Or like, there's different ways to hunt ducks and stuff.
Mhm.
So like, what's your normal? I guess you'd say.
So right now, just depending on my location, because I travel around a lot. But typically I'm hunting in, Texas marshes and everything like that. And so I like just, the basic wind at your back, kind of a big spread open in the middle, one mojo working, and then one thing that we do not utilize as much in Texas is the jerk rig. And so, throw a jerk rig out
Okay.
there, get that out there, get some motion for those still mornings with no wind. Get a jerk rig out there, start adding some motion and movement to that spread. But that's pretty much ideal for me, But if I go out to the timber in Arkansas or something like that, I'm looking for nothing. It's hard to say because once you get in that timber, it's a different animal. So you're trying to push as far back away as you can from everything else, and just find an opening in the top of the trees. And I mean, man, sometimes I know whenever we went out to Arkansas, we're throwing two or three decoys, and it was a later season, of course, but it more so looked realistic for the birds to come in. And so that was something that we did. And then, just sometimes we don't have the like you said on public land, kind of wake up kind of late, and we got to hunt a crosswind. So it's like and late for us, you're getting up at 3:30 or 3 o'clock, but if you have to hunt a crosswind or something, you're kind of pushing your spread kind of further to the right in the direction of the wind, having those ducks land at the back of that spread.
So like you said, like obviously you travel around and
Hmm.
stuff. Like what are some of the places that you've been? Other than Texas, you said Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas, Missouri. Did a conservation goose hunt in Missouri. Loved it out there. It was nice. Literally, where we went, it was nothing there, and I was like, I like this." But and also Montana. We actually do some guiding out there in Montana, and that there was, man, it was a once in a lifetime hunt, and so just hunting frozen rivers, hunting fields, and having these Canadas come in, and just full of mallards, skies full of mallards. It's something to see out there.
I bet, man. That's pretty cool. Montana's some beautiful country. I've got to spend a little bit of time
Hmm.
there. We spent some last summer, and then passed through. We went to Idaho and stuff.
Mhm.
But like, I can only imagine. You see some of those videos on YouTube and stuff, where all those birds are just hundreds and hundreds of birds just flying over you, and you're just waiting for them to drop in.
Yeah.
Dude, I can only imagine. So is that how long have you been guiding up there, like just traveling around?
So I'm gonna say traveling around hunting roughly around three years or so, maybe a little bit longer,
Nice.
but out in Montana 2 years now. So whenever I got out there, it felt nice out there, and I was just like, I got to keep coming back.
Yeah. So is that like how'd you get into the whole guiding thing? Was it just like the people through people you met, or just opportunities and stuff?
So I had a couple of buddies that I went to school with, Santrell Haskins and Charles St. Clair, Nick Thomas. So we all went to school together, and they ended up moving out there for work and everything. And they had shot me a message one day and was like, "Hey, you trying to kill some birds?" And I'm like, "Man, I'm always trying to kill birds." And so, so they told us to head out. We ended up meeting Landon out there, who was a native to Montana. Um, so we go out
Okay.
there. We met up with them and packed up 28-hour drive, got to Montana, and I mean, from day one, it was just amazing. And so I just,
Dude, that's you gotta love it when a plan comes together.
yeah, yeah. And I kind of mentioned to him, I was like, man, I was getting ready to start the business. I kind of, didn't know what direction that I wanted to take it. I wanted to help the youth get involved into the outdoors, and because just
Yeah.
seeing the declining numbers in hunters, so I was like, man, we got to get the youth involved. That's something that I feel would be another alternative for them. Just besides sports or anything like that, another way to keep the youth out of trouble and get them outside, get them outdoors. And so I talked to those guys, and they were like, man, would you be interested in starting a business together? And I was like, man, I was thinking to ask y'all the same thing. And so it just all came together. And so we've been doing that going on 2 years now. So
Awesome, man. That's real cool when you can meet people, and just like y'all are both on the same page about stuff, and start a business together, and just in a business in what you love doing. I mean, if it's hard work
yeah,
regardless. It's hard work if you have like, a desk job or and doing a job that you hate, and it's hard work doing a job that you
yeah,
love, but I can guarantee you're going to have more days that you love, that you have fun and like your job when you
exactly.
love it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's real cool. So y'all you're doing guiding in Montana, and then here in Texas as well, or just up there?
Both. So we're going to be doing both
Okay.
out there. They're running, turkey, mule deer, pheasant, even elk as well. So they're running that whole operation in
Nice.
Montana. Down here in Texas, we're doing everything from alligator guard to, red fishing, flounder gigging, bullfrogs, duck hunting as well out here. And so just trying to pretty much, we want it to be, if anybody's want to experience anything, we are able to offer that to them, and I feel like we have enough expertise within the field to do that. And so my brother, he even branches off to trapping as well. So yeah,
Okay. Okay. Cool,
yeah,
man.
my brother, he does. Man, he last year he did pretty good. He trapped, a handful of bobcats and coyotes last year, bunch of raccoons and everything, and he's tanning the hides and getting ready for sale.
That's cool,
Hmm.
man. Like I should have had both of y'all on here, man. But that trapping is not easy.
Yeah, oh man.
Trapping is not easy. So for him to have success with it that quick, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, he was dedicated. And I mean, he's watching YouTube videos, he's watching different shows. He's asking some of the older generation, what did you do to, become a successful trapper? And so it was just little bitty
Yeah.
things that he was fine tuning, and he finally started to get his rhythm down, and now he's full fledged trapping. And I mean, it's a process. It's an all day event.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've helped people, trap hogs and
Mhm.
stuff, running those kind of traps. But like, I mean, trying to catch predators, and like I've seen some of the guys run traps and stuff like on some of the deer breeders that we've been to and stuff like that, because that's a big
Hmm.
problem for them. Obviously, is bobcats and coyotes getting in and getting the fawns in the springtime. So I've seen it from afar. I've never got to do it myself, but it's always something that's interested me. Just being able to like know where exactly to put that trap. I'm like, I mean, you can go around and find where they're coming
Hmm.
through or something like that, but if you're just trapping like in the woods, not like at a deer breeder or something like that, where you can see them crossing the fence, it's kind of hard to figure out like this is where I'm going to put this trap and then catch one.
It is. Whenever so pretty much I was just tagging along with him, and he was like, we're driving on the side by side, we're going through the property, and he's like, he just hit the brakes and he's like, right here. I'm like, why not back there? We got, there's plenty of spots back there to drop it, but he's like, no, right here. And he was successful, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna question it.
Yeah. Yeah, you know where to drop it at.
Hmm.
That's cool, man. Like that's also being like having your brother also to to do outdoor stuff with, and like always have that hunt buddy. I mean, I'm sure y'all do stuff separate as
Oh
well,
yeah.
and y'all probably like one thing or another a little bit different. But even though like you have somebody to come like, hey man, look what I saw today, they're gonna be there and be like, yeah, I like that too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's man, I would give him credit. He's the one who helped me perfect my shot, because I'm telling you, as
Yeah.
him being the younger brother, to we're going different places, traveling, hunting, and to see some of the shots he's pulling off, and I'm like, ooh, and they're like, man, why don't you shoot like your brother? And I'm like, little brother can't outdo big brother.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
that's funny.
he's a great shot.
Well, that's good. He wound up helping you out.
Hmm.
Well, that's cool, man. So, like, what's your season looking like this year? I know you've done some dove hunting and stuff. How'd your dove season go?
Man, dove season turned out great this year so far. We have our little go-to spot out in Central Texas that we always go to, and dove hunt out there. And my brother ended up shooting, I want to say, his fourth or fifth dove band out of there. And so,
Dude,
first day got a two-man limit of doves, me and him, and then the next day followed up with the same thing. So it's been pretty nice out there.
yeah, yeah. And so you're driving from Anahuac up to Central Texas, and then you hunt up there. Or do
Hmm.
you live in Central
Yeah,
Texas?
I drive from Anahuac to Central Texas after I graduated college. I moved back down home, and
Gotcha.
so
Yeah.
it's still part of that Central Texas I love out there. So I got to keep traveling back and forth.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. So, what are your plans for duck season this year? Where are you headed, or where are you traveling to?
So I'm looking at Arkansas this year as well, getting back out into the timber, getting just bringing dad this time to the timber. Letting him experience the timber,
Okay, okay.
and then possibly going back to Missouri, but Montana is going to be majority of where I spend my time at this year.
That's awesome,
Mhm.
man. Are you gonna be like you gonna be filming a bunch of stuff, or you got some cool content ready to
Oh
shoot?
yeah, we I've met with the camera guy last week, and I'm telling him, hey, look, this is the dates. I'm out there. We're hunting every single day. Morning and afternoon. So we got to get that content
Yeah,
created, and start getting that out to so people could see. And like I tell him, he's the one who brings it all together essentially. That as a photographer or videographer, they're the ones who tell the story. And so Tayshawn
yeah,
Tayshawn does a great job. I also have Chris, who's from College Station, that takes the pictures for us, but Tayshawn does the filming, and man, he tells a story. And so I really want
yeah. He
him.
does, dude. Like I said, your stuff's good.
Thank you. Yeah, he tells a story, and that was something that really, whenever I was looking at his page, I was like, man, I love the way he tells a story. I love the way that the video follows up one after another. I got to work with him, and so reached out to
Yeah,
him. Down to earth guy, great guy.
heck yeah.
Hmm.
That's pretty cool, man. And then, so what your duck season? When are you leaving out? And then, like, when are you planning on coming back?
Oh, the coming back part, I don't know. But the leaving out, I'm looking around November like 12th or so, November 12th, 13th range, and getting out there. I know we have a couple guys coming out to hunt, and just gonna be kind of playing it by ear to see how everything unfolds. And if I have to stay out there a few extra weeks, I might.
Yeah, if the ducks keep flying in and they're there, you have to stay there. I mean, you
Exactly.
you leave when the ducks leave. You just follow them back on down here.
Exactly. I migrate with them.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, start up north with them and just follow them all the way down.
Exactly.
Well, that's cool, man. I know you have some people like you work with, some sponsors
Mhm.
and stuff that you use. Like, what's your, and I'm sure like you use it because you like their gear and that's what you use. And I've seen you had some opportunities. You made some videos with Magellan and stuff, and then saw that with Academy and everything. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, like, what's some of your go to, like, what's your gear look like? What's your favorite stuff like that you like to run?
Man, the Magellan waders that I'm a huge fan of them. They're so they actually helped me out in Montana whenever the temperatures got down to -8, and so these are well
Yeah.
insulated waders from Magellan, and at a reasonable price. That was the big seller for me. Because nothing against Sitka or any of those brands out there, but that's kind of pricey. For anybody trying to get into the outdoors, and just to try it out. And so that's the Magellan product is something that I've used. I've used Academy brand for years. Whenever I first started, and it's something I've always stood by it. So just the waders from Academy, also Mojo. Out here in Texas on the marsh, you gotta have a Mojo. You have to have that in your spread.
Yeah.
Um, and then I also teamed up with Mountain Ops as well to kind of make that transition from duck blinds being with Christmas trees and Mountain Dew and stuff like that. So trying to make
Yeah.
go a little bit healthier and stuff. So I've teamed up with Mountain Ops and
Yeah.
everything.
I hear you. That's cool, man. I actually use Mountain Ops too. Like I drink Ignite every
Hmm.
morning. The BCAs, like pretty much anything that they have, I've used for quite a while, and I like it a lot
Absolutely, yeah.
because I'm not a big I'm not a big coffee drinker,
Hmm.
like at all. Like I just coffee's way too expensive for me to sit here and like try one
Yeah.
till I find one that I like. And if I like coffee, it'd probably have way too much sugar in it, and it'd be bad for me anyway. So I've just gave up on it. Maybe in my old age I'll drink coffee, but for now, like every morning I drink Ignite, and that's my caffeine fix.
Man, that's nice. Yeah, and
Yeah, yeah.
also, you can't leave the house without Onyx. And so I gotta have Onyx on my phone constantly where like traveling, and it comes in the clutch, it helps us out a lot whenever we're traveling.
Oh yeah, trying to find permission on different pieces, or like just trying to find public land from private land. We used it in Idaho. We went on that when Jared and I went on that hunt, and I used it. We were hunting turkeys in Nebraska and Kansas, and I mean it works.
Yes.
So if you're not using Onyx, I mean even use it here in Texas. Like that's one of the first things that I do. Like we go. Like if we go film or go guide something, like if you show me where blinds are, I'm marking them on Onyx
Exactly.
because I'm the last person that's going to get lost when I could have had a way to get back or even help somebody else. Like
Exactly.
it's inexcusable now. So yeah, I use a little breadcrumb thing. We were tracking deer and stuff too. That gives you, let you know like where you've been
Mhm.
and what you haven't covered. So that's another good thing about it too.
Yeah, you could also use that, if you're trying to get your steps in, it has that distance calculator, how far you walked and everything like that. So, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So what brand of shotgun do you shoot?
man, I'm
The big question.
I'm old school. I like the Remington Wingmaster. I'm an old school guy. I'm
There you
still
go.
shooting the pump. Uh, and and it's nothing against the Simi or anything like that, any other brand. It's just I'm more accurate with a pump, and I feel like that I'm actually taking my time when I'm taking my shots. And so I'm getting,
There you go.
cleaner, efficient kills with that pump versus, I'm burning a box, 2 boxes of shells a hunt with a semi.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Like the same thing with shooting any gun or bow or anything. Like all these brands make good stuff.
Hmm.
It's what you're comfortable with. So if your mind or your body feels more comfortable with this shotgun over this one or this bow over this one, and you're hitting and you're doing what you need to do,
Exactly.
that was right for you. And it may not be right for the next person, but hey, that one's right for you, and I'm not gonna knock it.
Exactly. Hey, you're killing the duck. You're getting the duck down. You're hitting your shots. It's working. Why change it? If it
Exactly.
ain't broke, don't fix
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. No, sir. Not at all. Not at all. Well, what's I guess what would be your what's your number besides your gun, obviously, and shells, like what's your go to thing that you gotta have in the duck blind?
Oh man.
It could be gear or food. It could be gear or food.
Ooh, that made it tough. Yeah. I'm a big fan of sunflower seeds, but man,
All right.
honestly, I gotta have heavy shot. I have to have my heavy shot. For years I shot, different type of shells and everything like that. But it's something about that heavy shot ammo. Whenever we're traveling and everything, we're able to do a lot more cleaner kills, and sometimes we're not. These are a little bit further out shots, so I want to make sure that that shot's effective at that distance. So heavy shot,
Yeah.
that's a must that I have to have. But
And that's like what is that made out of?
so you have bismuth, the heavy shot bismuth that
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because there's some obviously there's places that you can't have
Mhm.
lead or steel shot
Mhm.
also.
Mhm.
Okay, so that just kind of you could just take that, and then like bismuth, you can pretty much take
Yeah.
anywhere.
So with bismuth, man, the crazy thing about it is with the heavy shot. So for all the old school hunters, back in the day, they would hunt with the lead shot, and the density of
Yeah,
lead was, ridiculous. It was knockdown power with those lead shots. But to have a shell now that has that same, density as lead or more dense than lead, and also able to, not be a toxic shot, that's why,
yeah,
yeah, that's why I'm taking that bismuth with me.
that's pretty cool,
Hmm.
man. Like I've always, like I said, I'm not really into duck hunts. So I've always like been. That was one thing I knew about. Like some places you can't go with certain shot. You had to. I know there's some people use tungsten
Hmm.
too, and then
Hmm.
like it's kind of gone over into like the turkey hunt too, where they're changing the shot.
Hmm.
That you can be able to use in certain areas just from toxicity and stuff like that. So it's always interesting, like to hear different people's take on what other options that they like to use, compared to the old way. Because like I said, I love turkey hunting.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'll go turkey hunt anywhere. So uh, I'm always like trying to figure out what to take with me and stuff. I've shot that Apex turkey hunt.
Hmm.
I haven't, like I said, I haven't used it for duck hunting, but I used Apex for turkey hunting. It worked pretty good. And that one's tungsten, I
Hmm.
believe,
Hmm.
that they use in theirs.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Well, that's cool, man. Like being able to trust your ammo and like know like what it's gonna do is a huge weight off your shoulders for sure. I mean, even for duck hunting, for deer hunting, for anything.
Yeah, man, like just the moisture with duck hunting. Snow, rain. The worst condition is the best
Yeah.
condition for duck hunting. And so you're out there in the
Oh
rain,
yeah.
and those shells are getting wet. You need a shell that's gonna, kind of be able to take that moisture, take that rain, and everything like that.
Yeah. You don't want to be the guy to show up to the duck blind with like a bucket of shells and none of the shells match.
Exactly, man.
Like you're shooting 7.5s, you're shooting 8.5s, got some nines in
Yeah.
there. Like it's just a hodgepodge of different shells that have just been left over. You got to
Exactly.
be able to trust what you're shooting, man.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's cool, man. I definitely want to get you back on and to hear about how your duck season goes and like just hear the stories and stuff that comes on. But I didn't want to keep you on here too long. I just wanted to get to know you a little bit, and, see if we could do some stuff in the future, hopefully, and
Absolutely.
help each other out and create some content for sure.
Yes, sir.
Just like you said, telling stories and stuff, and just getting more people in the outdoors and being able to enjoy the stuff that we both love and enjoy, and passing that on to other people, because that's a big thing that we do. Like, we of course we donate our time and stuff to
Hmm.
other different organizations for that reason, and hopefully we can, maybe if there's something you're interested in that we can help you out with or get you involved in, to help you or and help with the cause,
Hmm.
we could definitely do that too, man. So, and I enjoyed talking to you tonight.
Same
We're
here.
going to get you back on and tell some more stories and stuff.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much.